Hello again, everybody. Welcome to OCVarsity Football Wrap-Up Show. It's the first week of the playoffs. Steve Fry here with Dan Albano.
A little wobbly after this crazy.
There were some games out there.
Crazy week.
Division One. Let's start talking about Division One, Dan, and talk about a crazy week and a crazy game. You were at one. Viejo had to sweat it out to beat Servite.
Boy, they did. 38-36.
Yikes.
Final play of the game. Servite works their self in position for a 43-yard field goal coming out of a timeout, and unfortunately for the Friars, it was a low kick off to the left and shy. And the Diablos, Bob Johnson, farewell tour continues. They kicked a 25-yard field goal with about a minute and a half by junior Braden Russell. So that was but this was a back and forth game, a lot of scoring in the fourth quarter. Servite was hanging with Mission Viejo the entire time, but it just tells you how tough, Division One is. With Keely Arnold had a great game. Trent McDuffie looked great at running back. Junior, great athlete at Servite. So did Keely and Joey Yellen. So Diablos survived. That could have been the end for Coach Johnson if that field goal goes in, but. They're playing for coach. They're playing for D1, and they survive and advance against another surprise team, Orange Lutheran.
Orange Lutheran went 0-5 to the Trinity League to finish last place. Went 5-0 in non-league, 0-5, 5-5. You're going, what the heck is a last place team doing in the playoffs? What the heck is the last place team doing in the playoffs?
They're
winning. And they beat Chaminade. What was that final score there? It was 28-25.
On the road.
It tells you a lot about the Trinity League, about how good it is. And Dan, I think playing those 5 Trinity League games, even though they went 0-5 in those games, probably got them ready.
Oh, absolutely. No better preparation. Iron sharpens iron, as many of the sayings go. You think of the Lancers too. They lost one of their games against Servite on the last second field goal off the upright. So they were close against Santa Margarita. They finally got their breakthrough tonight, and maybe they're starting a hot streak after losing 5 in a row.
Had some close games in this one. Santa Margarita lost to Murrieta Valley, 59-56. Man, Santa Margarita's been in some high-scoring games all year. Jay Sierra got kind of worked by Long Beach Poly, 60-44, a basketball score.
104 points.
And as we, kind of everybody expected, Mater Dei scored a lot, 49 points of beating Vista Murrieta, 49-7. San Clemente, state and section champion last year. Didn't quite get that far this year. They lost to Rancho Cucamonga 28-10. Out in Rancho Cucamonga's been ranked the state top 10 all gosh darn year, so no shame.
When the Harvey Ullman, the announcer, the PA guy at Mission Viejo, announced the Mater Dei score against Vista Murrieta at 49-0 at one point, the Mission crowd just kind of laughed. It was like, yeah, of course, it's like, oh man, there goes the Diablos again. But now it's going to be Mater Dei, Long Beach Poly.
Yeah,
what a great
they
rivalry,
played each other a little bit over the many-manys.
Yep.
On to Division 2 we go. I was at this game. Edison 28-27 over La Habra in overtime.
You picked it. You said it was going to be a great game.
Yeah, and it sure as heck was. So this is how overtime goes. La Habra gets the ball first in overtime. Interception in the end zone on a 4th down play. Edison gets it. Misses a field goal. Morel, who's a really good kicker, missed a field goal just by a little bit, just a little bit short. They go down to the other end. Edison gets a touchdown. O'Connor, nice little run for the touchdown. La Habra gets a touchdown. So now it's 28-27. La Habra goes for 2. Good for you, Frank Mazzota, going for 2. That's the way to do it. You play to win the game. They hand it off to Skylar Taylor, who ran for about 170 yards and a couple touchdowns. He sees a hole, but all of a sudden it collapses. He's about a foot short. Edison wins this game 20-27. Great win for Edison in that game.
Yeah, in Division 2, another game that surprised me. Norco taking down Los Al, 56-34.
A lot of points.
A lot of points. Tough for the Sunset League champions to go out in the first round. They had a nice run in the semis last year.
Division 3, boy, we had a heck of a game here. El Toro 50-45 over Villa Park. This game kind of went all over the place too. Cooper Jones threw for a bunch of touchdown passes. Yep. Dan, I know you're pretty high on him. You follow the recruiting thing pretty good. Probably raises his stock pretty good. Huh?
Yeah. Last I heard on Cooper Jones was he had an NAIA offer, and he threw for he completed 20 of 34 passes tonight, 426 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he outdueled Paul Piffery and Illingsworth, 2 guys that have offers. So I think this is really, I think Cooper's going to really improve his stock. And it was interesting. El Toro, had the week 10 bye, and I thought that was going to be something. And the way they started so fast in this game and were able to finish, I think that was key for the Chargers to have that little extra oomph to get them over.
They weren't rusty. A couple of years ago, Viejo, I think when they went 14-0, they had a bye just before the playoffs got, and Coach Bob Johnson kind of worried about it. But gosh darn it, this proves again. Into Division 4, Corona Del Mar 42 over Roosevelt, 42-35 over Roosevelt Eastvale. You and I, when we shot the video earlier this week with Jonathan Kames, you said, hey, watch out for Roosevelt, man. They got athletes, and certainly they made Corona Del Mar have to really work for that one. 42-35, Corona Del Mar wins. This is how the game goes. Corona Del Mar goes for 2 to try and take the lead. They don't get it. Onside kick, Corona Del Mar recovers it, and then the best jump ball receiver in Orange County, probably Tay Lee, lofts it up to him. He comes down with a touchdown. CDM wins the game. Yeah,
everybody read Zach Kavanaugh's story on OCVarsity, because I think he might have made Tay Lee made a one-handed catch or something.
Wouldn't put it past him, man.
Reach for the pylon. Maybe he was having some cramping issues. Not feeling that great. But he goes out and he can high point a ball with the best of them. And Corona Del Mar, Roosevelt. The reason I was so high on them because they're from, not only do they have athletes, but they're from the Big 8 league, which is a tough league.
That's the league that Norco's in too, and they worked at Los Alamitos
and
too.
Corona Centennial.
Yes, yeah, you betcha. Just to score to mention in Division 4 was San Juan Hills got in as a large team.
Yes, sir.
And I think they had a week 10 bye as well. And they
did.
Redondo 24-23.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good one for that program over there. On we go. Let's take a look at Division 6 over here. Fountain Valley, which, great history, but been down a little bit lately. In the playoffs, they get a W, 38-23 over Elsinore. Yeah. Good for Jimmy Nolan and the kids.
Yeah, the Barons had to, well, I guess they didn't have to win because they might have got the at-large if they didn't beat Huntington Beach in Week 10.
Right.
So, but they did win a big game. They needed Huntington. Newport beat Huntington, and that created that
kicked
thing.
That door.
But still, the Barons, coming third out of the Sunset League, big victory for them.
Good win for Yorba Linda, 44-21 over Monrovia. Yorba Linda's had some injury issues, quarterback in a couple other places.
Oh, yeah.
Good for them to get that W. Now, this is what's interesting to me is, St. Margaret's in Division 7, which I think they were last year also, Dan, beat Ayala Chino Hills 31-17. We always wonder about how St. Margaret's would do against larger schools. Got that W against a large school there.
Oh.
Fullerton wins 2, 43-30. So we got this matchup next week. St. Margaret's at Fullerton in the second round. That's going to be a fun game.
That's going to be a good game because, the Tartans need to prove that you need to prove to Steve Fryer, guys. He wants to know how good you guys are. I believe in you a little bit more than maybe Steve Fryer does. I don't know. He wants to see you play him, so you're gonna have to take on the Indians. But the Indians are playing real good ball right now, right?
I don't mind firing people up. I've written more pregame speeches than Vince Lombardi, the predictions columns and stuff like that. If I get y'all fired up, man, I'm happy to be part of it.
Steve's watching you, Tartans. Got some work to do.
Yep, let's do it. Okay, now on to Division 9. We'll fly down to that one. Cypress 62-27 over Agora. Cypress was the road team on this. I'm looking forward to seeing what the box score shows about what Mr. Alex Ashcraft, the quarterback, did. Probably threw for a bunch of yards, a couple TDs in that one. Then here's a pretty interesting game too.
An at-large team for Cypress too. They needed an at-large. They were on the bubble. They were going to get in.
Yeah, and they didn't know who they were going to play, and they
were worried.
Steve, where's Agora? I don't know, Coach Feldman. GPS it, babe. So anyway, people use MapQuest anymore. I almost said MapQuest.
But I think you're going to talk about Woodbridge, right? Woodbridge,
Aliso? Woodbridge at 35-10 over Aliso Niguel. A good county versus county matchup here. Woodbridge, really hot lately. A guy who's really led them in their hot streak they had in the second half of the season was Nick Nash, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Knee injury, doesn't look really good. I don't know, how they can progress without Nick Nash, who's really been good.
Yeah, Woodbridge impressed me that they won by 25 points.
Right.
They were coming off a lopsided loss in the finals of the PCL championship game to Corona Del Mar, but they were on a hot streak before that, and they got hot again.
Yeah. Here's a hot team throughout the year. Now they're 10-1 as Pacifica.
Yeah, they are.
With a 57-21 win over Whittier in Division 10 rather. And here, check out what happened today. We talked a lot all season about the Golden West League and how gosh darn good they were going to be. Westminster wins in Division 11, 42-20 over St. Genevieve. Santa Ana wins 46-20, the Golden West League champ over Bell Gardens. Orange wins. Westminster, yeah, we already talked about Westminster winning.
Yep.
So they went 3 for 3 in the playoffs too.
Yeah,
so now next week, Division 12, Godinez against Santa Ana. Godinez beats Santa Ana 23-13 in week 1 of the season, the first game of the season. Santa Ana has since won 10 in a row. Got a rematch, Godinez against Santa Ana next week, a good Santa Ana game. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, you got Patrick McMorris from Godinez and the Orange Coast champions.
Yeah.
And then you got, they're going to go against Pacheco, running the ball from the Saints.
Macias.
Damian Macias at quarterback, that big offensive line. Hey, that's going to be a lot of fun for Santa Ana.
And
Santa Ana pride right there.
Yeah, right on, man. And here's something that we talk about liking teams who haven't done well in a long time doing well. We're going to close it with saying this one. Good job, La Quinta. First playoff win since 1990. They beat Savannah 28-15. Good run for Savannah too, because they've been down for a little bit too. Coach Tom Ritchie and those guys, they had a nice run too.
Yeah,
so
and I'm still
a lot of fun game.
I'm pining for that La Quinta Orange final in Division 13. That was my prediction.
Orange beats,
it can happen.
Yeah, Orange beat Cantwell Sacred Heart 28-26. That was a road win for the Panthers in March. That's
a little tight one
for
for the Panthers.
So man, we had some great games in this. I don't know how second round can top the first round, Dan.
This I didn't expect so many upsets, and I didn't expect so many barn burners, and it's one of the wildest first rounds I can ever remember. And I'm just so impressed with how these teams have so much fight in them right now. It's been a long year, but these guys have taken up another level. No problem, more competition. Olu, Servite, guys coming out of the Tough Trinity League, big time tonight.
Yeah,
and
great stuff.
And that's what it's going to take. Obviously, next week, Steve, in semis and finals, it's going to take some amazing efforts to try to get to the finals and win it.
Yeah, well, we're going to follow all that, and here at OCVarsity, boy, we covered this thing pretty good. We had video stuff, a lot of good game stories. 103 photos, I think it is, in our photo collage. So a lot of good stuff to check out here at OCVarsity as we wrap up the first week of the playoffs. Second round coming up. We're pretty excited about it. Thanks for hanging out with us here at OCVarsity.